Hey, it's me, Jack. Jack Don't Care. That's right. Don't adjust your whatever device you're hearing this on. It's me, live and in stereo. No return engagements, no encore, and this time, absolutely no requests. Get a snack, settle in, because I'm about to tell you the story of my life. More specifically, why the N64 is the most nostalgic game console for me. And if you're listening to this video, you've probably played one of these games. I'm not saying which game should be your favorite, but fear not. If you received this lovely little box called the N64 as a kid, your game will pop up. I promise. Our big question today is, what makes this game nostalgic to you? Number 7, Harvest Moon 64. What do you think, Steve Bob? What are the things that really stand out to you?
Okay, so this one has changed for me a little bit. Very recently, we were listening to some video game music, and we were just going through all these great musical songs from all these great games that have great music. And then you put on a Harvest Moon 64 song, and I was like, oh my goodness. My mind was just blown away with nostalgia. I just immediately remembered those tunes and everything about it, and like what you would do during those days where you're running around the Harvest Moon. For anyone who doesn't know, Harvest Moon is the best farming simulator out there, because everyone knows you want to farm. Everyone wants to farm.
It sounds weird, but then you have games like Stardew Valley, which came out, which is very much inspired by Harvest Moon, so you know that they have something going on here. And I really like how you mentioned the music, and I hope we don't forget to mention that in the other games on this list, because I think that's a huge part of the nostalgia factor of these games is the music. So yeah, what else stood out for you in like the various actions that you would take during the game?
Okay, well, I was always a big farmer. I always did the animals a little bit, but the farming, I like making money. But truly, the part that makes me nostalgic the most for this game are the romance elements, the girls. I always, in all my profiles, I think I only ever made like 2. I always married Karen.
Anne. It's all about Anne.
Karen number 1.
Anne number 1.
But yeah, so there was all these girls you had to choose from. So I remember at the time when we were playing, we'd always discuss on who was the best girl, even back then. So that's definitely a big part of our nostalgia, I feel, about that game.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of a time period where those kind of things, like, wait, you can like have a relationship with a girl, and again, like, that was never really like came up a whole lot in games. And I think truthfully, like, one of the big things that stood out for me was that, and I think it's one of the first games that I ever actually felt like addicted to. I remember, like, I think you brought it over one weekend and I played it for just like hours and hours and hours, and then when you left, you took it home, and I woke up the next day and I'm like, man, like, I really wish I could like go talk to Anne right now and give her some berries and get like that little heart that comes up when you like give the girl something they like, and I'm like, I really want to do that right now and I can't because I don't own the game. And I was just like so frustrated. I was like addicted to it. Like, I needed to play that game when I wasn't playing it.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely the first video game waifu for me. But yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, I think it's the first game I ever played any type of romance dating element to it. I mean, it's obviously very common, especially a lot of Japanese games have some type of dating sim element in some games like this. But yeah, it was really cool at the time. It was different for us. It's a very different game than I think every other game on this list, except for Taiba. It's just it's its own beast. The game is so slow, you just could do whatever you wanted. And yeah, it's just really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those non-linear games where you can kind of choose your own path. And that wasn't something that was really going. I think maybe Mario 64 tapped into that a little bit, but it was very non-linear, and the things you could choose to do, and the routes you can go, and the directions you could go, and the different things you could do. And I think what also kind of makes it nostalgic, and sort of still puts it place today, is the events. So in the game, it would go not in real time, but they would have actual dates and days, and things would change, and there would be little events that come up, little activities and festivals, and that impacted us in later games. So then you got games like Animal Crossing, which are similar in many ways, but the nostalgia of the Harvest Moon 64 ruined that game in some ways because the events didn't play out in the same way that we expected. It didn't activate that same level of interest and nostalgia that Harvest Moon did when these events happened in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's 100% true. You always, in Harvest Moon, the events are really what broke up the everyday monotony. Whenever you first were starting to get bored, you just did like a very similar thing every day. You start getting a routine, and then there'd be this big event, and you'd be like, "Oh, the event's coming! Yes, it's time to interact. You get to talk to all the townsfolk. You get one big thing: a horse race or a dog race, or all these other many things that happen in Harvest Moon, and they're all amazing." But yeah, the events were always the best. And like you said, I remember when we got into Animal Crossing, I really loved that game at first. I was like, yes. And then the same thing started happening with Harvest Moon, where I'm like, oh no, it's starting to get a little monotonous. I'm doing the same thing. And like, but there'll be these cool events. And then we did the events. And I'm like, there was like nothing there. Nothing happened. We didn't do anything. It was just people mentioned like, yeah, it's Christmas. I'm like, what? Like, do something. But yeah, but Harvest Moon had all those events. And so that was cool. It had the whole season, so you gotta have the winter time. Everyone kind of had their favorite month. That was always really cool too.
Yeah. Anything else we should talk about Harvest Moon? I think that's pretty good.
Other than Karen is the best.
Yeah.
That's the one thing to mention.
I mean, I'm just gonna edit this video so it says Anne. You're gonna be like, and then Anne is my favorite. I'm just gonna edit it so that way that happens. So yeah, that was pretty good. Nice and short too. Like I thought we went into depth on a couple things, but it wasn't too much.
Makes sense. Other than
Anne is my favorite. Oh, you're still here? Why don't you subscribe? Check out some videos. You know, the usual. Stay nostalgic, my friends.